Hey guys, doing a Blu-ray collection video. Might be two parts because depends on time. This is just because I can't bother doing update video because of there's been a lot since the last one, so I might as well just do a collection video. And yeah, so I'm gonna get straight into it. First, they are in alphabetical order, or as much as I've tried to, because well, I just like to have it like that. But first, 127 Hours. Brilliant film. James Franco is phenomenal in it. Danny Boyle is a brilliant art director, and yeah, this is the Blu-ray DVD, which I've watched on Blu-ray and it looks really good. So it's kind of the film you want to have good picture quality on. But yeah, brilliant film. Just has you on the edge of your seat. Very emotional and based on a true story, so just makes you wonder how terrible it must have been for the guy who had to endure all that. Definitely something I think many people will have seen by now. Next, one of my favourite comedies, 21 Jump Street. I've watched this about 4 or 5 times and I laugh every time. I absolutely love it. One of the best comedies of recent years. Yeah, and the sequel's just as good. I mean, I'm not sure which one I prefer because I can't remember 22 Jump Street, but from what I remember, I do remember it being quite close. But Channing Tatum proves that he can act. Jonah Hill, as always, is Jonah Hill. And yeah, I hope that they're going to do another one, but at the same time I don't want them to go too far and end up like Paranormal Activity that just went on too long and basically just ruined the whole franchise. Next is 8 Mile. Very good film. Not the best, but as an Eminem fan, it's quite a fitting film that shows you how. I mean, I think it's a semi-autobiography or something of his life, so it's good to give you an insight into his life. But it's very you have to be a fan, I'd say, or at least have an interest in this kind of style of film, style of music, because it's got a lot of rap in it. So if you don't like rap, I'm pretty sure you're not going to like it. But saying that, it was very well acted, and yeah, not the best film around, but it doesn't make it a bad film. Next is one of my favourite films, Argo. Fantastic film. I went into this not knowing anything about it except it was based on a true story, but I was blown away by it. It had me on the edge of my seat. I was cheering at certain parts. I was biting my nails at other parts, and there was some parts where you just thought, this is too far-fetched, but then you realise that it is a true story and you just think, wow. And it's mind-blowing to think that this actually happened. But yeah, brilliant performances, and very well told throughout the story. I mean, not too sure what the theatrical cut is, but I watched the extended cut. I'm not sure. There's only 9 minutes extra, so I'm not sure what it actually is that's added on. But very good film. One of my top 50, maybe top 50, maybe I'd say. Next, The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. Very long title, but this is a film that I, again, didn't know anything about. I just bought it because Brad Pitt were in it and I thought it's probably going to be good. And I wasn't disappointed. It was a very long film, just under 3 hours, but I mean, I enjoyed it. Ow, that hurt. I enjoyed it, but it did go on a bit too long. I thought there was some scenes that could have cut out of it, but all in all, it was a very well done film, and it's acted brilliantly. And it was a nice surprise to see, because I didn't really know anything about it, so I'm glad I checked it out. Next is a comedy that got a bit of bad, what would you call it? It got bad reviews or average reviews, but I thought it was pretty good. Bad Neighbours, or for the Americans, Neighbours. Yeah, I love this film. I saw it at cinemas and I've watched it on Blu-ray since, and it's still funny to me. I like Seth Rogen, one of my favourite actors, and Zac Efron proves that he can actually act as well, which that was quite a shock for me. But I mean, it's not, I admit it's not the best film you're ever going to see, but it gives you laughs, and if it's a comedy that makes you laugh, it's doing its job. Next is a very well-known classic, Breakfast Club. Very, very good film. Very 80s. If I mean, anyone who knows 80s films will know what I mean when I say that. And the cast, or every single person in this film, does a good job. And yeah, it's just a very good film. For people who were around in the 80s, I mean, I wasn't, so I think it'd probably be more enjoyable for them, but still, even if you're not, check it out, because it's a really good film. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Next is the second, I think, I'm not sure if this was the first one of his I watched, but Nicholas Winding Refn's Bronson. It was either this or Drive, I can't remember which one I watched first, but this is the one that I remember after watching it I thought, this guy is a very good director. And Tom Hardy also, this is kind of the film that made me realise that he's a very, very talented actor. And yeah, it's a very I don't know the word for it. It says it's like A Clockwork Orange, but yeah, I think that's probably a good description for it. It's very dark and graphic in places, but yeah, very yeah, very good film, so check it out. Next is Buried. Like 127 Hours, one of my favourite films. Well, top 100 probably. I kind of prefer this one, but well, this is the better film, but 127 Hours I preferred. Because this one is literally 95 minutes in a box, and yet you still manage to be on the edge of your seat, and it's fantastically well acted. Yeah, definitely recommend if you haven't watched it, because a lot of people will probably think it's probably going to be boring, but definitely worth checking out. Cabin in the Woods, as you know, one of my favourite horrors. Written by Joss Whedon, not directed. I always make that mistake. Well acted, the stereotypes are spot on, and yeah, I just love it. It's one of my favourites. I've said that about a lot of these, but I do tend to buy my favourite films on Blu-ray, because obviously they deserve to be in my collection, but this is definitely one of those that I could watch over and over again. one of the biggest surprises in my collection is Crazy Stupid Love. Wasn't expecting to like this. In fact, I wasn't even expecting to. I was expecting to watch it and think, yeah, and then never watch it again, but I've watched it quite a few times and I actually really, really love this film. It's probably, again, in my top 100 films. Everything about it's just fantastically done, well acted, and yeah, it's not your typical rom-com, I'll just say that, and definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen. Of course, The Dark Knight. My favourite of the trilogy. I haven't got the other two on Blu-ray yet. I'm not sure why. But this one is my favourite and probably my favourite film of all time because I can't really fault it. And yeah, this was my first Blu-ray that I got as well, so it's special in that way. Yeah, I still haven't watched it on Blu-ray, by the way, but I'm definitely gonna make sure that changes, because for the 30-day movie challenge I'll probably watch it as my favourite film, so I've got an excuse to watch it now. One of my favourite Scorsese films, if not the favourite, because I haven't seen Taxi Driver, so The Departed. Again, I didn't know anything about this when I watched it, and instantly became one of my favourite films. Everyone is brilliant in it. It's so well done. It's typical Scorsese. Anyone who's a fan of him will know what I mean when I say that. It has that style to it, like Goodfellas, and yeah, it's so good. I can't praise this enough, and if you're a fan of Scorsese and you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it, and even if you're not a fan of him, still check it out because it's phenomenal. Django Unchained, another one of my favourite directors, Quentin Tarantino. This won quite a few awards, as you can see from the cover, and it's probably my second favourite of his, behind Reservoir Dogs, obviously. Yeah, again, Leonardo DiCaprio is brilliant in this, as well as Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz, and even Samuel Jackson, as you can kind of expect he was going to be in it. But yeah, definitely a Tarantino film with the over-the-top violence and all that kind of stuff, which is why it's why his fans love him, because he knows how to do it well and not make it stupid. Don John, one of my favourite actors, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and proves he can direct as well as act. A very, very 18 rated film, or R rated if you're American, or whatever, I don't know the rating systems, but it's very adult, I'd say that. So be careful who you watch it with. But yeah, it was a very good film. Top 50 maybe, if not definitely top 100. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. A guilty pleasure. It's over the top. It's got violence. It's got car chases. It's got guns. It's got Amber Heard. So I mean, definitely not a good. Well, not a great film. It's a decent film, but very forgettable after you've watched it. It's just one that you can eat popcorn with and have a good time, which isn't a bad thing, really. Next, Due Date. I watched this before The Hangovers, and yeah, I really like this film, so can't really remember much about it because I haven't watched it since I got it, which was about a year ago. But it's Robert Downey Jr., who is phenomenal, and Zach Galifianakis, if that's how you say it, who is hilarious. And it's one that I'm not sure if people liked it or not, but I definitely did. And if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend it. Evil Dead, the remake. I really enjoyed this. I know a lot of people did too, and it's the serious version of the original, which I kind of always wanted to see because it just seemed like a really good idea, and to have the comedy side of the original, even though it was good, I just wanted to see like a serious version, and that's what you get with this. But they're both really good films, and I'm not sure if they're doing any more, but I'm very open to the fact that if they do, because I thought this one was really good, and obviously I'd like to see more. Fast and Furious, because I'm currently trying to get them all, and this was the first one I got. I haven't seen this one, so there's not really much I can say about it. I'll just show. So yeah, Fast and Furious, but I plan to get all 6 and then eventually see the 7th one when it comes out. So The Fighter. Again, it's won a bunch of awards, and I can see why, because it's a very, very good film. Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg, two of my favourite actors. I say favourite a lot, but you know what I mean. I don't have one specific actor that I like. I have a bunch, and these are two of them. I'm not really a boxing fan, but I still really enjoyed it, and I think you don't have to be a boxing fan to like it. It's so well done that it's entertaining throughout, no matter what, whether you enjoy it or not, boxing or not. And it's well acted, and it says it's the best boxing movie since Raging Bull. I haven't seen Raging Bull, so can't really say if that's true or not, but it's definitely a very, very good film. And if you haven't watched it, again, go check it out. I recommend pretty much all the films I have, besides